Let's stay with the matric story. eNCA's Govan Whittles is in Midrand ahead of the announcement of the National Senior Certificate Examination results. Things get underway from about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Let's give you a quick preview. Govan, good afternoon to you. A lot of expectation, as we've just heard from the former politician Mary Metcalfe. There'll be a lot of happiness, there'll be a lot of sadness among the pupils, but I guess the big figure that we're looking out for is that overall matric pass rate and whether it's improved or declined.
Yeah, that's right, Jeremy. We're looking out for that figure, but we also have some insight from the Education Minister as to how that might look. First of all, Angie Motshekga saying that it seems as if the interventions by the National Department with the holiday camps to improve the students' academics has yielded some results. To which extent, we're not quite sure yet. We'll have to wait until after that announcement is made. But this morning, she was here with the top achievers nationally, and they've all been gathered here in Midrand, obviously ahead of the announcement later on this evening. But Angie Motshekga saying to the top achievers that she expects them to lead South Africa toward the fourth industrial revolution. Obviously saying that she's very proud of the learners, the pupils, and what they had achieved in the exams, but also making it clear that there's an expectation for them to take up the leadership of South Africa in the digital age, which is fast approaching. So the expectations are high here. A lot of proud parents, a lot of excited matriculants can't wait to see in which subjects they've excelled. A lot of them also expecting multiple distinctions. I think that's the norm around here. That's the one question that I kept asking: which subjects do you think you did well in? And they'd say, well, I think about 4 or 5 of them. So it seems as if there will be some good news coming out of Voter World, at least on the part of the top achievers later on this evening. But we all wait with bated breath to see whether or not that matric pass rate has increased or decreased.
Govan, you've had an opportunity, as you've just said, to talk to some of those high achievers. Is there a common thread? What's the secret?
It seems the secret is cross-nighting, studying until you can't study anymore. Most of these pupils that have made the group of top achievers have talked about the extra effort that they've put in, remaining focused throughout the exams and really studying until the early hours of the morning. A lot of them that I spoke to also said that their preparation for the exams started long before they were actually scheduled to write the exam. So most of them seem to have had a good support structure. But then, of course, there are the cases of people who have thrived in the face of adversity. At least one student from the Nyanga High School in Ngobo in the Eastern Cape is one of the top achievers here. He managed to make it into this hall without electricity for most of the year, studying by candlelight, studying by his phone's torchlight, and then his mother and his principal joining him here, saying that they really had to put in extra effort to make sure that he was able to get to the exam venue, but also he was able to be well prepared. So a lot of the schools that these top achievers have come from have done things like holiday camps, weekend camps, where they focus on one specific subject for an entire weekend, but they've also tried to team up with the department to ensure that some of these top achievers that are here had been exposed to some form of support before they went to write the exams.
Of course, that's one side of the matric equation. All of those that you spoke to this morning are virtually or comprehensively guaranteed a place at a tertiary institution. But as those results come out at midnight tonight, we'll also look at those who have not done so well and possibly a more difficult life path for them as they will battle to progress beyond matric into a university or a technikon.
Yeah, that's right. The 2017 bachelor's pass rate was about 28% nationally. So the Education Minister Angie Motshekga saying she hopes to record an improvement in that bachelor's pass rate among matrics. But there's also something that the Education Department has done this year or last year, which might make it a little bit easier for those who didn't pass matric last year. So they've allowed anyone who has failed matric or just failed 1 or 2 subjects who wants to rewrite those. They've moved the supplementary exams from February and March all the way to June. So this means that these pupils now have more time to study, but they also have an option of writing more than 2 subjects at a time. So previously, if you were to write a supplementary exam after failing matric, you could only write 2 subjects even if you had failed 3. Now the Department of Education is opening it up so that you can write as many subjects as you want to, and of course hopefully improve your overall pass and improve it from just a normal National Senior Certificate pass to a bachelor's pass, which would guarantee entrance to the university. So that's the intervention from the Department of Education side. But Angie Motshekga also telling the top achievers here and those who may not have passed who were listening not to become too despondent, because there are still opportunities available to improve their marks and get that pass that they wanted.
Difficult, of course, not to become despondent in that respect. And Govan, we're not going to have time to talk about this, but further details will come out a little later on this afternoon. But obviously a close eye will be kept on mathematics and science results, which are also always a bellwether as far as all of this is concerned. Full, live and extensive coverage of that technical announcement a little later on this afternoon. I understand begins around 4 o'clock.